So, you're ambitious, you've got big dreams, you want to be successful and ultimately live the life you've always imagined. But there's a problem. You're lazy. You know exactly what you should be doing, yet you don't do it. This leads to feelings of guilt because deep down, you know you're capable of more. That guilt builds up over days, weeks, and months until it turns into acceptance. Then the new year arrives, bringing with it the same goals from last year. You start off strong, fueled by motivation and a bit of delusion, but before you know it, procrastination creeps in like that one relative who always shows up uninvited. Your lingering procrastination turns into a daily cycle of laziness. Before long, you've labeled yourself as a lazy person. So how do we break this cycle and free ourselves from procrastination? There are countless videos and articles online, but most only address the symptoms, like deleting social media apps or removing distractions. While these tactics might help temporarily, they fail to tackle the real issue, the root cause of procrastination, which can be summed up in one word: inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency for objects at rest to stay at rest, and objects in motion to stay in motion unless acted upon by an external force. This happens to be Newton's first law of motion, and it applies just as much to tasks as it does to physical objects. Getting started on any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push, some amount of energy to overcome the resting state of inertia. This is precisely where the problem lies. We make the initial push seem so big and difficult in our minds that we avoid the task entirely, distracting ourselves with cheap dopamine-inducing activities like scrolling through social media or binge-watching videos. To break the cycle of procrastination, we need to break inertia. There are two effective ways to do this. Reduce the stakes. Getting started is often the most difficult part, so make it as easy as possible. Reduce the stakes by taking the smallest possible step forward. For example, if you tell yourself, I need to sit down and complete my 5,000 word essay, the inertia is too strong because the stakes feel overwhelming. But if you tell yourself, I'm only going to write 50 words, the feeling of inertia is much lower. It's easier to start without needing to rely heavily on willpower or discipline. Apply the 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like doing the work, just tell yourself you'll do it for 2 minutes and then stop if you want to. For example, if you don't feel like cleaning your room, put on a song, clean until the music stops, and then decide whether to continue. The best part is, usually you'll continue longer than 2 minutes, or you'll end up writing more than 50 words. This happens because objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Once we get started, we build momentum, which keeps us going longer than we initially planned. Initially, overcoming inertia feels like pushing a ball uphill, but once we pass the tipping point, it's all downhill from there. That's why it's crucial that the initial push is small and easy. In other words, reduce the stakes and start with just 2 minutes. You can apply these two methods to any area of your life to overcome procrastination, whether that's getting to the gym, working on your side hustle, maintaining your relationships, or pretty much anything else you can think of. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Remember, the key to breaking the cycle of procrastination isn't about sudden bursts of motivation or relying solely on discipline. It's about understanding how inertia works in your daily life and using small, manageable steps to create momentum. Start small, stay consistent, and watch as those tiny actions build into lasting habits that move you closer to your dreams. I figured out how to study so efficiently that it almost feels like cheating. You know that feeling when you spend days studying, sacrificing your free time, skipping the things you actually enjoy, only to end up with the same grade as that friend who crammed the night before? Yeah, it's frustrating. You put in all the effort, yet your grades remain average, while your friends are out there having fun. To make matters worse, studying often feels exhausting and boring, which only makes you want to procrastinate more. But here's the truth, the problem isn't you. It's the outdated, inefficient study methods you've been using. In this guide, I'll show you how to spend just 20% of your current study time and still score top grades. I'll share simple techniques that almost no one knows about, yet even an average student can apply easily. The best part, you won't have to sacrifice your weekends every time a test is coming up, so let's dive right in. 8. Ditch the sweets. Do you find yourself binging on sweets before tests due to stress and anxiety? Bad idea. The truth is, sugar will only make things worse. Studies from UCLA prove that too much sugar slows your brain down, making it harder to learn and retain information. Additionally, research from the Journal of Physiology shows that sugar can mess up your focus and reasoning skills. If you want to study faster and perform better on exams, ditch the sweets. Instead, opt for brain-boosting snacks like nuts, fish, or berries. These foods enhance memory, improve focus, and keep you sharp, without leaving you in a post-sugar crash fog. 7. Change your mindset. If you sit down to study already thinking it's going to be endless and boring, guess what? It will be. But if you shift your mindset and decide it's going to be quick and manageable, your focus will improve, and time will fly. Your brain responds to the cues you give it. A Harvard study even showed that employees who believed physical work was good for their health experienced real benefits like lower blood pressure and weight loss. If this works for physical health, why wouldn't it work for studying? The bottom line is that your beliefs have more power than you think. If you start studying convinced it's going to be torture, that's exactly what it will feel like. Instead of saying, "This is going to take forever," try, "I'll knock this out in no time." Rather than thinking, "I'll never understand this," shift to, "This is easy, I'll get it done in half an hour." Adjusting your mindset isn't just motivational fluff, it's a proven strategy to study faster and with less stress. 6. Use a timer. Just like managing your mindset can transform your study sessions, using a timer is the perfect tool to combat procrastination. If you think you have all day to finish a task, you'll probably take all day. This phenomenon is known as Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time you allot for it. But when you set a 30-minute timer, everything changes. Your brain recognizes the countdown and switches into focus mode, forcing you to work efficiently and get tasks done faster. Studies show that using a timer helps us naturally complete tasks in less time. The key is to set a time limit that challenges you without causing panic. Don't think, "I can't study all this in 1 hour," but also don't make it too relaxed or you'll slip back into procrastination. Instead of saying, "I'll study all day," try, "I'll cover this chapter in 1 hour." You'll be surprised at how much more productive you become. 5. Prioritize important content. When time is tight, stop wasting it on things that don't matter. If you only had 2 hours to study, would you spend it reviewing what you already know or diving into irrelevant details? Of course not. This is where the 80-20 rule comes in. 20% of the material will likely account for 80% of your exam questions. So instead of drowning in unnecessary information, focus on what really matters. Stop rereading the entire textbook. It's not efficient. Go straight to summaries, key topics your professor emphasizes, and past exams. Practice exercises on the most tested areas and ask yourself, if I could only review one thing, what would be the most useful? Prioritizing important content not only saves time, but also helps you avoid that overwhelming feeling of studying everything, yet learning nothing. After all, what's the point of knowing 100% of the material if only 20% will be on the exam? 4th, study the answers. First, if you want to stop wasting time and start studying smarter, begin with the answers. Instead of aimlessly reading through entire chapters, jump straight to the questions and answers at the end. That's where the important information is. Doing question and answer exercises helps solidify your learning faster without getting bogged down by unnecessary details. Plus, exams often follow predictable patterns. By focusing on the right questions, you'll know exactly what to expect. Understanding how answers are structured and graded is the real secret to academic success. It's not about knowing everything, it's about knowing how to present your knowledge in a way that matches the examiner's expectations. 3. Focus on your weaknesses. Stop wasting precious study time revising material you already know well. While it might feel satisfying to breeze through familiar topics, it won't do much to improve your exam performance. Instead, channel your efforts into the areas you struggle with, the ones you tend to avoid because they require more mental energy. It's easy to fall into the trap of revisiting mastered subjects because it gives you that reassuring "I'm doing great" feeling. However, this won't help when facing tough questions during the exam. To see real progress, face your academic challenges head on. Concentrate on the parts you haven't mastered yet. That's where meaningful improvement happens. Additionally, try using horizontal learning to enhance your understanding. This method involves connecting different areas of knowledge to grasp the bigger picture. For example, if you're studying the immune system, broaden your scope by reviewing related topics like inflammatory responses, cellular defense mechanisms, and autoimmune diseases. By making these connections, your learning becomes more comprehensive, efficient, and effective, leaving you far better prepared for the exam. 2. Use AI tools. Harnessing the power of AI tools like ChatGPT is a game changer for studying smarter and cutting out wasted time. With the right prompts, AI can help you quickly review complex content, clarify confusing concepts, simulate realistic test questions, create concise summaries, and personalize study plans. Instead of getting lost in endless notes and textbooks, AI keeps you organized and focused on what truly matters. Think of it as having your own personal study assistant, saving you hours of tedious reading and making your sessions far more efficient. 1. Review and correct your mistakes. One of the most effective ways to improve your grades is by reviewing and correcting your mistakes. Gather all your previous errors in a dedicated notebook or an app like Notion, and make it your go-to resource before exams. Organizing your mistakes this way makes it easier to spot patterns and ensures you don't repeat the same errors. Let's be real, it's much better to review your mistakes in advance than to make them again during the actual test. Going over what you got wrong helps lock in the correct information and solidifies your understanding. This approach not only reinforces learning, but also boosts your confidence, knowing you've tackled your weak spots head on. If you found these tips helpful, share them with friends who might need a study boost too. And if you have any secret techniques for acing exams without breaking a sweat, drop a comment. I'd love to hear them. Remember, studying smarter isn't about working harder, it's about using the right strategies. Apply these tips, and you'll not only save time, but also achieve better results without the stress. Hope to see you in the next video. If you don't show up, well, you're missing out big time. Life is short, yet most people live as if they have an infinite supply of time. Here's the harsh reality. The average person lives around 30,000 days. That's it. Think about this. If you're 30 years old, you've already used up nearly 11,000 of those days. They're gone, never to return. Many people say, "I'll do it someday," but someday is a dangerous word. It tricks you into thinking you have all the time in the world. The truth is, you don't. In the next few minutes, you'll discover powerful strategies that will help you make every moment count. This isn't just about managing time, it's about truly living it. These aren't generic tips on time management, they are profound insights into how life really works. Chapter 1: Time Perception and Psychology. Time plays tricks on your mind. Understanding these tricks is the first step toward mastering it. Remember when you were a child and summer felt endless? A single day could feel like a week. But now, as an adult, entire years seem to fly by like months. This phenomenon is called the time unit paradox. It's not just in your head, it's rooted in how your brain processes experiences. Your brain measures time by recording new experiences. As a child, everything was new, so your brain was constantly recording, making time feel slower. But as an adult, routines take over. Same breakfast, same commute, same TV shows. Your brain skips recording these repetitive moments, blurring days together. This is the trap of time blindness. But here's the good news. You can hack this system. Take different routes to work, learn a new skill each month, have conversations with strangers. Each new experience forces your brain to pay attention, making time feel expansive again. One of the biggest mistakes in time perception is that we overestimate what we can achieve in a day, but drastically underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. This is why many people give up on their goals too soon. Chapter 2: Priority Management. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their days with tasks that seem important but don't actually matter. Here's a powerful tool: the deathbed test. Picture yourself at 90, looking back on your life. Will you care about that extra hour you spent at the office or the time you spent with your family? Suddenly, your priorities become crystal clear. Here's what successful people understand: knowing what not to do is often more valuable than knowing what to do. This brings us to the two-list strategy. Write down everything you want to achieve. Now circle the top 3 items. Everything else, that's your avoid list. Think about it like compound interest, but for life choices. Small daily investments in the right priorities multiply over time. But there's a catch. Social media, busy work, and constant distractions steal your attention from what truly matters. The solution? Ruthlessly eliminate the non-essential. Your time is too precious for anything less. Chapter 3: Relationship Dynamics. Relationships work like bank accounts. Every small interaction is either a deposit deposit or a withdrawal. A genuine compliment? Deposit. Being consistently late? Withdrawal. And just like with real banks, you can't make withdrawals if you haven't made deposits. Many people wonder why their relationships feel strained. The answer is simple. They only reach out when they need something. Most people focus on big gestures, like expensive gifts or grand celebrations. But here's the truth. Small, daily deposits matter more. A random text checking in, remembering small details, being present during tough times. These are the real relationship builders. Here's something counterintuitive. Shared suffering often builds stronger bonds than shared pleasure. Facing challenges together creates deeper connections than simply having fun. And don't overlook your weak ties. Those casual acquaintances and distant friends. They're bridges to new opportunities, ideas, and perspectives. Strong ties comfort you, but weak ties help you grow. Want to feel like you have more time? Help others. It's the ultimate paradox. Giving your time makes you feel like you have more of it. Chapter 4. Career and Purpose. Your best career opportunities aren't where you think they are. They're just one step outside your comfort zone. This is known as the adjacent possible, the sweet spot between what you know and what you could know. A massive career mistake is optimizing for money too early. In your 20s and early 30s, focus on learning. Every new skill you gain is like a lottery ticket for future opportunities. Money follows knowledge, always. Forget the traditional career ladder. It's a trap. Modern careers are more like jungle gyms. You move sideways, diagonally, even backward sometimes. Each move builds a unique combination of skills that makes you irreplaceable. Comfort is career quicksand. The longer you stay in a role you've outgrown, the harder it is to leave. Here's a secret. Use productive procrastination. When you're avoiding one task, channel that energy into learning something new. These procrastination projects often reveal your true passions. Chapter 5. Health and Vitality. Health isn't just about living longer. It's your life force multiplier. Every other aspect of your life either improves or suffers based on your health. Think about this. Would you rather have 8 energized hours or 12 draining ones? Your energy levels matter more than the number of hours you have. The mindset of "I'll sleep when I'm dead" is completely wrong. Sleep isn't just rest. It's your brain's superpower. Without it, your decision making is as impaired as being drunk. That promotion you want, that relationship you're building, they all depend on your brain working at its best. Here's something nobody talks about. You're two different people. Morning you and evening you. Morning you makes plans. Evening you has to follow through. Don't let morning you be a tyrant. Want a simple life hack? Micro workouts. 10 push-ups here, a quick walk there, 5 minutes of stretching. These small movements add up. Your body was built to move, not sit for 8 hours a day. Remember this, physical movement creates mental clarity. If you're stuck on a problem, move your body. The solution will come. Conclusion. Life isn't about finding extra hours. It's about making your hours count. Your habits shape your days shape your years, and your years shape your life. Start small. Pick one idea that resonates with you. Test it, refine it, make it yours. The best time to start living fully isn't someday, it's today. Making decisions while exhausted can be as bad as being drunk. That promotion you want, that relationship you're nurturing, they all depend on your brain functioning at its best. Here's something most people don't talk about. You're essentially two different people. Morning you and evening you. Morning you makes all the ambitious plans, while evening you has to follow through. The key, don't let morning you be a tyrant. Life hack, micro workouts. 10 push-ups here, a quick walk there, 5 minutes of stretching. These small movements add up. Your body was designed to move, not sit for 8 hours straight. Remember, physical movement isn't just good for your health, it creates mental clarity. Stuck on a problem? Move your body. The solution will come to you. Chapter 6. Learning and Growth. Want to learn anything faster? Teach it to someone else. This is called the teacher effect. Explaining concepts forces your brain to process and understand them at a deeper level. Not ready to teach yet? That's exactly why you should. Your struggles make you a better teacher than an expert because you still remember what was confusing. Here's a secret learning hack. Read biographies. Why? Because each one condenses a lifetime of experiences into just a few hours of reading. Want to avoid common mistakes? Learn from people who've already made them. Most people try to be good at everything, but smart people stay strategically bad at some things. It's called deliberate amateurism. It keeps your brain flexible and your ego in check. Constraints aren't your enemy, they're your superpower. Limited time, limited money, limited resources? Good. These constraints force you to be creative. And here's perhaps the most valuable skill of all, knowing when to quit. Strategic quitting isn't failure. It's making space for better opportunities. Quit fast on things that don't serve your growth. Chapter 7. Emotional intelligence. Your emotions have a secret timer. The chemicals that create feelings like anger, fear, or frustration last exactly 90 seconds in your body. After that, staying in that emotion is a choice. You might think, I can't help how I feel, but here's the truth. While you can't control the first wave of emotion, you absolutely can control the second. Think of emotional regulation as a superpower. Raw intelligence might get you the job, but emotional regulation will get you the promotion. Why? Because people trust those who can stay calm in chaos. Most people hide their vulnerabilities. Smart people use them strategically. Showing the right amount of vulnerability at the right time builds deeper trust than always appearing perfect. Here's a costly mistake. Avoiding difficult conversations. These conversations are like compound interest in reverse. The longer you wait, the more emotional debt you accumulate. That small issue you're avoiding, it's growing bigger every day. And don't underestimate gratitude. It's not just a feel-good practice. Unexpressed gratitude is like having money in the bank, but never withdrawing it. Use it or lose it. Chapter 8. Financial Wisdom. Money isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about something far more precious. Your freedom of time. Here's a truth most people miss. Making more money often makes you poorer in time. As your income grows, so does your lifestyle. Bigger house, more maintenance. Fancy car, more worry. Better neighborhood, longer commute. Finally, you think, I can afford everything I want. But that's the trap, lifestyle inflation. It's like running on a treadmill, moving fast, but going nowhere. Consider time affluence. Would you rather make $100,000 working 80 hours a week or $70,000 working 30? Your true hourly rate includes everything you sacrifice for that money. Most people get this backward. They buy objects but rent experiences. Smart people rent objects and buy experiences. Why? Because experiences appreciate in value over time. Objects usually don't. Here's the ultimate financial skill: building margins. Living below your means isn't about restriction, it's about creating space for opportunities. That space is your ticket to real wealth. Chapter 9. Creative living. Creativity isn't about waiting for inspiration. It works more like a faucet. When you first turn it on, rusty water comes out. Those are your bad ideas. But you need those bad ideas. They clear the way for the good ones. Waiting for the perfect idea. That's like waiting for water to run clear without turning on the tap. You have to push through the rust. Here's something counterintuitive. Creativity loves constraints. Give someone unlimited options and they freeze. Give them limited options and they get creative. Think about it. Shakespeare wrote in strict meter and rhyme. Those limits forced his creativity. Most people try to create and judge at the same time. That's like driving with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. First, create. Judge later. Document everything you create. Your brain is like a creativity muscle. It needs to see its progress to grow stronger. Those early terrible attempts, they're your proof of improvement. And here's the real secret. Combine skills that nobody else combines. That unique intersection is your creative superpower. Chapter 10. Personal energy. Your energy is your most precious resource. Time management is useless without energy management. You can't do meaningful work if you're running on empty. Most people never audit their energy. They don't realize that some activities give them energy while others drain it. That morning walk, energy boost. That toxic friendship, energy vampire. You might think, I just need more willpower. But willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired. Smart people don't rely on willpower. They design their environment to make good choices automatic. Consider decision fatigue. Every choice you make drains your energy. What to wear, what to eat, when to exercise. That's why successful people often wear the same outfit or eat the same breakfast. They're saving their mental energy for decisions that matter. Here's a counterintuitive energy hack: strategic incompetence. Being deliberately bad at non-essential tasks means people stop asking you to do them. Your energy stays protected for what you do best. Remember this: recovery isn't a waste of time. It's how you multiply your time's value. Rest isn't just for recharging, it's for growth. Designing your environment to make good choices automatic is one of the most powerful strategies for conserving mental energy. Think about decision fatigue. Every choice you make throughout the day, no matter how small, consumes energy. Deciding what to wear, what to eat, or when to to exercise adds up quickly. This is why many successful people simplify these decisions. They often wear the same outfits and eat the same breakfast daily. It's not about laziness, it's about preserving mental resources for decisions that truly matter. Here's a counterintuitive energy hack: strategic incompetence. By deliberately being bad at non-essential tasks, you discourage others from asking you to handle them. This keeps your energy focused on what you do best. And remember this: recovery isn't a waste of time, it's how you multiply the value of your time. Taking breaks and resting isn't a sign of weakness, it's a strategy for longevity and productivity. Chapter 11, Social Capital Success, isn't just about what you know, it's about who you know. But real social capital isn't about collecting business cards or adding connections on LinkedIn. It's about building genuine, meaningful relationships. There's a simple formula for friendship: time plus vulnerability plus shared experiences. You can't shortcut any of these elements. Authentic connections need all three to flourish. Some people say, I don't have time for networking, but that misses the point. True networking isn't about taking, it's about connecting. The best networkers aren't collectors, they're connectors. They introduce people who should know each other, creating value not just for themselves, but for their entire network. Most people underinvest in maintaining friendships. They wait for big life events, weddings, reunions, or crises to reconnect. But strong relationships are built in the small, everyday moments. That random check-in text, a quick coffee catch-up, or a brief phone call. These are the moments where real bonds grow. Think of community like a garden. You can't plant all the seeds at once and expect them to grow without care. You need constant, small acts of nurturing. Every conversation is water. Every introduction is fertilizer. The truly successful build their community before they need it, because when you need a network, it's often too late to start building one. Chapter 12, Mental Models. Mental models are shortcuts your brain uses to understand the world. But here's the catch: the map is not the territory. Your mental models are always simpler than reality, which is both their strength and their weakness. They help you make quick decisions, but can blind you to complexities if you rely on them too heavily. Most people only see what's right in front of them. They play checkers while life is playing chess. The key to thinking more strategically is second-order thinking. Don't just ask. Chapter 13, Life Design. Your life isn't something that happens to you. It's something you actively design. Think of it like a portfolio, not just of money, but of experiences, relationships, skills, and dreams. Most people overvalue planning and undervalue testing. Life design isn't about creating perfect plans. It's about running small experiments to see what actually works. Many people think, I need to figure everything out first. But that's exactly backward. You can't think your way into the right life. You have to test your way there. Take action, learn from the results, adjust, and repeat. Here's what most people miss about change. Tiny adjustments create massive results. Want to transform your life? Start with changing just one thing for 5 minutes a day. That small win builds momentum, leading to bigger changes over time. Consider how you measure success. Most people use society's metrics: money, status, possessions. But what if you designed your own metrics? What if success meant more time with family, learning new skills, or helping others? Redefine what matters to you. Regular life reviews aren't optional, they're crucial. They help you catch problems while they're still small. Monthly reviews can prevent yearly regrets. Reflect on what's working, what isn't, and where you want to go next. Conclusion: life isn't about finding extra hours. It's about making the hours you have count. Every principle we've covered, from time perception to relationship building, from energy management to life design, works together to create a life worth living. Time will pass whether you use it wisely or not. Your habits become your days become your years, and your years become your life. Start small. Pick one idea that resonated with you. Test it, refine it, make it yours. The best time to start living fully isn't someday, it's today.